Yo, what's up, everyone? I'm your host, Jeremiah, here back with another video. And today I have for you, what if Goku was a Viltrumite? Well, half Viltrumite, part 5. So without any further ado, I promise you I won't keep you waiting any longer. Let's get into it.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go.
So last part we left off, Raditz have just unlocked his Super Saiyan 5 Limit Breaker transformation. And just in time too, as Beerus and Champa set up the Universe Survival tournament. And everyone on Earth found out that if they lose, they get kidnapped to Universe 6. And they're like, Goku, why would you, Beerus, why would you allow this to happen? Why wouldn't you keep Goku mouth shut? As Beerus gets slightly annoyed that they would blame him, but they do have to assemble a team. But the problem is, who will they pick? Everyone wants the opportunity to fight, but they only need 5 members. And they have a huge amount of powerful fighters there. So Beerus simply picks for them. He picks Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo. Piccolo actually denies since he's Guardian of Earth, and he can't exactly just leave the planet out of the blue. So his apologies for that, as Beerus reworks it. Alright, fine then. I've yet to see much of what that young boy is capable of. Or that Goku-san, right? So how about this? We have Goku, Vegeta, Raditz, Gohan, and who's the 5th member? How about, and as Beerus rubs his head, thinking of who he actually wants to join the tournament, as Gohan and Trunks comes up and they say they want a chance to fight too. They have a new transformation that nobody else have. As Goku's like, "Oh, you do? What is it?" As these transformations are specifically unique to Goten, Trunks, and by extension Pan, because they developed something that others did not. As they transform, and it's the perfect combination between their Super Saiyan and Viltrumite DNA, and they call it Viltrum Super Saiyan, and they have a higher multiplier than Super Saiyan 3. And this is only the first level. So just imagine what they can do with actual God Key and later on. And Beerus is actually impressed. With the set leak, but who to pick? As they decide to fuse into Gotenks. And they both were joined. Now they actually have to get proper training first, of course. So the first people, and they decide to go into the slime chamber. And the first one up is actually Gohan, since they have at least a week to get started. And Elder Kai says he wants to train with Gohan personally. And he goes in the room with Gohan, of course with food, water, and a few personal magazines for Elder Kai. And even Videls goes in there just to spend a little bit of time with Gohan, since he does work a lot. They go in there for a year, and Elder Kai unlocks both of their potential. And Gohan, by far currently, since he did have Super Saiyan 4, he's now the most powerful with a sheer amount of potential alone. And Gohan still have Super Saiyan God. He's the most powerful person here. And when he walks at the time chamber with his basic transformation, with his basic form, everyone is impressed. And Gohan says he could feel something beyond this somehow, as Elder Kai also have no idea what he means. But Gohan looks to Piccolo, and they have this weird recollection. Like, Piccolo is aware of what Gohan is talking about. As the next 2 groups to go in, it's Goku and Vegeta. As they end up mastering their Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker form, And even going back to the basics, mastering Super Saiyan 4, and they gain masteries over all of their transformations to maximize power output and extend memory loss. And they also develop techniques that Whis and Beerus have been trying to teach them, but they can only show signs of them, with Vegeta actually being able to use Hakai, as well as Goku. But Goku is not really made for it, and he can't properly perfect the technique, but he can use it in case of emergencies. And Goku and Vegeta, they're on the cuffs of new transformations, of new techniques, and having mastery over them. But they're not yet able to do them, and they leave the time chamber. As the last person to go in, it's actually Raditz. As he goes in alone, well, no, he decides to take in Goten and Trunks to get them more acclimated to their Viltrumite Super Saiyan transformation, and they're even able to go a level beyond. Since Goten was born with a form of Gaki, and Vegeta, since Vegeta have also been around and training with Trunks a lot, they're able to pick it up awfully fast, and they do unlock Super Saiyan God. And they decide to try to skip over the Viltrumite Super Saiyan 2 and 3 transformations, and they decide to go straight for God. And Raditz is not really the perfect teacher, but he does help them, since he does help them merge it with the Raffle form or the Azaro form as a catalyst for them to upload, as a catalyst for them to get Super Saiyan God, or Super Saiyan Blue, or Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker. As they decide to focus, and even though it took about 5 months for them to do, since they did have to work on their Viltrumite Super Saiyan transformations more, they do manage to do it. And no, this is not Super Saiyan 4 Limit Breaker. This is more like a precursor to it, specifically for them. And let's just call this Raffle Guide, or Ralph Viltrum Raffle Guide. Oh, that's a long name. And let's just call this Ozaru. Let's just call this guy Ozaru, or perfected. Let's just say, yeah, perfect, as so I don't have to keep calling this Viltrum Super Saiyan. Let's just call this perfected guy, as you guys know what I mean. Or no, I'm gonna keep calling it Viltrum. And oh my god, I'm going on a whole tangent here. As they're actually able to do it, and they don't have 3% blue, the perfect blue combination yet, since they didn't merge the God transformation with their Viltrumite Super Saiyan. They did merge it with Super Saiyan God, or the God transformation. Since it's not a technical Super Saiyan form, they're able to merge it, and they now know the feel of what it's supposed to feel like. And at the end of the year, they do manage to merge their Viltrumite Super Saiyan with the Ozaru transformation. Not the Ozaru transformation, but the Super Saiyan God transformation. And they're able to get Viltrumite Super Saiyan Blue, or just for short, VSB. VSB is the perfect name for it. As they walk out the chamber looking a little taller, as they actually go off into the tournament, but the problem is they're far too powerful. They're far too powerful for everyone there, as you guys might believe. But Beerus, as Champa knows how powerful they are, he decides to assemble a slightly new team. This time consistent of more Saiyans. And Beerus' new team is Hit, Kale, Khalifa, Kaba, and Frost, since those are some of the strongest fighters in the universe. And he decides to have all of them be trained by Vados, just to have a little boost of their power. And sadly, they still can't, and they're actually mad powerful. But since they don't know anything about Super Saiyan, they the Saiyans do not have Super Saiyan. The Saiyans do not have Super Saiyan Blue. Universe Six Saiyans do not have Super Saiyan Blue because one, they don't know that Super Saiyan exists, but they do have Super Saiyan God or the God transformation, as well as Frost. As well as Frost actually growing more powerful, and they did catch on to the needles he had in his arms. As Champa wanted him to keep him in, but they decide against it, and Frost actually becomes a problem here since he do have Frieza levels of potential. As even as we saw in the original anime with him just fighting, living on slums, and not even training, he was able to throw punches and actually compete with Little with hit. So this time with him actually trailing and him actually training and him actually growing stronger, it is far more effective. And he actually unlocks a different transformation, not golden, but let's just say he unlocks a ruby transformation as he calls it his ruby farm. And since he's better than Frieza, he's smarter. He does end up perfecting it, and he's actually a humongous foe. And Hit was able to get mad stronger too. As the first round is actually against Gotenks, and Kale. As their battle will actually begin, and Gotenks have the clear advantage. As Champa begins to yell that this isn't fair. How is any of this fair? This is bull. You can't have a fusion as Kale as did I say Frost or Kale? I did say Frost. As Frost would go transform. No, I did say Kale. Oh, I said Frost. I'm just gonna if I did it, I'm just gonna say Frost for some for some. Oh my God, why am I stuttering so much in this video? Like this video is a far cry and it's far worse than the rest of them. As Gotenks will power up into Super Saiyan, Viltrumite Super Saiyan, and he begins to hit Frost. As Frost is actually getting pushed back a massive amount, as Frost will quit holding back and he goes full power. And he's actually able to push Gotenks back in his form. As Viltrumite Super transformation is not enough. As Gotenks will go into his version of Super Saiyan Blue, which have a weird, slightish green color actually. And Kale notices this and she thinks it's the same thing as her, but no, it isn't. As they would begin their battle, and the arena is being destroyed by the shockwaves because they're emitting this level of power relatively early. So we Bottles upgrade the arena to make it self repairing, and they move the airwaves back a little bit, making the arena bigger itself, just so I could take less damage and push everyone back while they're in the middle of fighting. As Frost powers up multiple supernovas and he flashes them at Gotenks, as Gotenks will go up to his full power, and he headbutts Frost in his gut, pushing him back once again. As he goes up and lets off multiple ghosts, using multiple kamikaze ghost attacks, trying to eliminate Frost, and it works as Frost gets wipes out of the arena. As Gotenks have about 5 minutes left, as his next opponent is actually Kale. As Kale goes up to her full power, and it's legendary Super Saiyan. Yes, Kale have Super Saiyan because they think only she can do it. The other Saiyans don't have it in Universe 6 because she kind of went insane while training. And since Gotenks is low on power, this is actually where he would get eliminated. As some of you might be like, oh, hey man, that's a cop out. But no, we know that sometimes the fusion dance, it can get kind of complicated. So I do believe that Gotenks will actually lose here as he gets knocked out of the ring. As the next person will go up is Raditz. Raditz, knowing how powerful Kale is, even though it's not the same power as him, he decides not to go hold back since he haven't seen any more female Saiyans except for his niece and Aegis, and he's actually mad excited about the fight he's going to have. As he powers up into Super Saiyan 6 Limit Breaker, as Kale would respond powering up into her own Super Saiyan God transformation, as they rushes at them, and sadly for Kale, Raditz do have the upper hand, but she does end up putting up a pretty decent fight. And she even manages to pull out a few techniques that even Raditz don't know about. As he knocks her out. As the next person to go up is Cabba, and he asks Raditz, "Hey, can you teach me? Can you teach me how to properly go Super Saiyan?" As Raditz is like, "What are you talking about? Didn't your friend just go?" As Cabba says, "No, I didn't know anything else like that was possible." As they would agree, and Raditz would get into assault Cabba as the same manner as Vegeta did as in canon, and Raditz is able to get Cabba to transform into a Super Saiyan. So this actually benefits them a, a lot more than what it did in canon. As their battle would begin, and of course, Raditz decides to hold back a little bit to make it a slightly even match. As he decides not to fight anything over his space transformation, and he still severely outpowers Cabba. As he is forced to transform into a Super Saiyan 2 to compete with his God transformation though. Eventually going into Super Saiyan God himself and knocks out Cabba. The next opponent he has up, as Gohan asks us to fight, since we're all extraordinarily stronger than everyone else, and everyone wants at least one opportunity to fight. As sadly Raditz would agree, as he's a bit bored of the tournament anyway, as Gohan would go up and fight against Khalifa. As Khalifa says, "Hey, aren't you going to go Super Saiyan?" As Gohan says, "No, this form I'm in right now, it's far superior. It's far superior to all of their transformations." So as that battle again, as Khalifa not wasting any time, going straight up as a Super Saiyan guy, catching Gohan a bit off guard. As it does absolutely nothing, as Gohan just severely outclass her. As Gohan isn't exactly one for holding it back, even though he enjoys fighting. He knows Earth is in danger. So he decides to quickly to eliminate the Saiyans, just in case something bad's happened. As the next opponent up, the last opponent in Universe 6, as Kappa is a little bit annoying. It's hit. I know I told you guys he's far more powerful. As your battle again, Gohan, just because he doesn't have his full mastery over his ultimate form, he gets hit over 100 times. As Gohan begins to cough off blood severely, as he's like, "What is this?" As Gohan is forced to power up to his max. As he begins to face off against hit, and he gets hit in a time cage, and nobody sees what happened, as Gohan is nearly knocked out of the ring. And this battle's intense for Gohan, as Hit powers up once more, trying to unlock Gohan, but Gohan does manage to flip over him. As this is just the push Gohan needed to unlock his beast transformation. Since he's never fought with somebody on the same skill level of that is Hit, since he's been ultimately more powerful than everyone else in the universe for all his life, and the only competitors he had is his parents, Vegeta and Raditz. As he transforms into Beast, and he's able to knock out Hit. As Vegeta and Goku's a bit bummed they get in this fight. But luckily for them, the Omni King was watching the match, and he's actually excited to meet Goku as they hit it off once again. And he gives Goku a button to contact him whenever he needs. But that's how I'm gonna end this part off right here. I hope all of you guys enjoy, and I hope you guys come back for part 6. So, but peace out. I love y'all, and hopefully y'all come back for another video.